Scientists sometimes find themselves having to solve for things, having to use equations. These 5 equations here came out of our science curriculum. They stand for, S stands for speed, F is force, P is pressure, D is density, and A here is acceleration. But really, for the purpose of this video, we don't care what any of those variables stand for. They're just letters. And the way that you need to be able to do things is you need to be able to get the different letters by themselves. For example, right here, this M is multiplied by this A, so you need to know how to get the A or the M by itself. And right here, distance is divided by time. You need to be able to get the distance or the time by itself. So that's what I'm going to show you in this video. I'm just going to play around with a few of these 5, and we'll see how it goes. So let's start with this first one, S equals D over T. And let's say I want to get the D by itself. Somebody's given me speed and time, and I want to know the distance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to notice that I've got this divided T on the bottom. How do you get rid of a divided T? Well, you multiply by T. Why would I do that? Well, if I've got a T over 1, which usually I don't bother to write that over 1, but if I've got a T by itself and I've got a T on the bottom, they cancel out. So now I've got the D by itself, but I have to remember that whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So if I multiply this side by T, then I need to multiply this side by T as well. So I wind up with this D by itself, and there you go. Distance is speed times time. What if I want time by itself? Well, I notice that time is multiplied here by this speed, by S. So if I want to get rid of a multiplied S, I'm going to divide by S. But whatever I do to one side, I've got to do to both. So on this side, the whole point was dividing by S so it would cancel out. And what I wind up with then is the T by itself. And on the other side, I've got D over S. So once again, it doesn't matter what these letters stand for here. It's just that you are able to swap things around to multiply and divide to get things by themselves. So I'm just going to do 2 more really quickly here. Let's say I wanted to get this A by itself, this acceleration. What I'm going to notice is that it is multiplied by mass. So if it is multiplied by m, what I want to do is I want to divide by m. Whatever I did to one side, I have to do to the other. And on this side, m on top and bottom cancel out. So what I wind up with is this A by itself. And on the other side, I've got F over m. So acceleration equals force divided by mass. So I'm just going to do one more. I'm going to do this one. What if I want to get this A, this area, by itself? This one looks different because it's on the bottom, and we didn't start with the other ones on the bottom. So if I want to get rid of a divided A on the bottom, I'm going to put it here. I'm going to multiply both sides by A. And that means it's going to cancel out on this side. So now I've got F equals A times P. And then I want to get rid of this P so I can have my A by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by P. Means my P cancels out. So what I wind up with then is on this side, the A. And on this side, I've got F over P. So area equals force over pressure. You should practice this until you feel comfortable with isolating any variable in an equation like this. And when you see this Greek letter here, this triangle, this delta thing, don't let that scare you. We'll talk about that in the future.